Thank you. Well, it's good to be back with you again. I visited with your group a few months ago. Mr. Clark is a dear friend of mine, and I've enjoyed my association for the last 26 years. We have a lot in common: a love of family, a love of the business, and a love of solving problems. In fact, all of you here today are what we would refer to as being forensic entomologists. In other words, you go out every day and you're asked to solve problems. One of the things that we're going to do here this morning is to talk to you about more information that you can use in solving problems for your clients and your customers. I don't know if you ever thought that this is going to work. There we go. If you've ever thought about it, when you got up this morning, in some cases just a short while ago, that how grateful you are to live on this blue marble out here moving through space. This particular planet that we call planet Earth has all of the requisites that we need in order to sustain our existence here in this part of the universe. It has to be nearly perfect. 1 degree out of phase, 1 degree closer to the sun, we burn up. 1 degree further away from the sun, then we begin to freeze. And so through the eons of time, this planet has been perfected in its shapes and in its orbits. But not only is it perfected for our existence, it's perfected for the existence of a lot of other plants and animals, some of which that we consider to be pests. One of the other things that I would point to you is that this is not exactly a sphere. I don't know how many of you are aware of that. The diameter across is about 9,000 miles. The diameter up and down is 40 miles less than that. So it's not exactly round. It's a little bit wider than it is tall. But it has to be that way, because that's what it takes to be perfect for our existence. Now, when we're talking about various pest species, and that's what we're going to concentrate on this morning, specifically we're going to be talking about termites. When we look at any of the insect populations, the closer you are to the equator of the Earth, exactly the center point, the ideal conditions on the planet exist on the equator. It doesn't freeze, it's warm, it's humid, basically plenty of food. As you move to the poles of the Earth, to the North Pole or the South Pole, the speciation, or the number of species, begins to thin out. Now, one of the interesting things that's happening today is that the center line, the equator, is a certain temperature. The temperature is approximately 78 degrees year-round. It fluctuates a little bit, but that's about the perfect temperature that insects in particular need. There are more species of termites, as an example, in the equator zones than there are anywhere else in the world. You're hearing now a lot about what's called climate change, be it global warming or cooling. Our climate is constantly changing. It has always done that. 10,000 years ago, the Earth was a ball of ice. And as that ice has melted, you can see the scars of the glaciers and so forth. The point is that if we are warming up even more slightly, then the zone that supports these insects, these cold-blooded organisms that need the heat, is expanding away from the equator. So in the next few years, with the slight changes in temperature, you're going to see more mosquito problems because the conditions are going to be better in terms of moving north or south from the equator. And they're going to be continuing and more termite problems. And that's what we're focusing on today. When you think of the Earth itself, you know that there's a great diversity of climatic conditions and physical structures. We have oceans, which comprise the majority of the surface of the Earth. We have mountain ranges, which basically stop or impede the movement of insects, or they did until modern transportation. We have deserts that are not only hot, but very dry, making it very inhospitable for insects. And in some regions of the planet, then we have freezing temperatures. Mr. Clark talked about the fact of making the decision to move from Nebraska to Texas. one of the decisions I made, I was just tired of being cold all of the time. Okay? So that was an easy decision. But we have these different aspects of planet Earth that for eons of time had restricted the movement of insects. So I show you a view of the data set from space. Just that we can have pictures like this from satellites and the space shuttles and things like that is another amazing thing that we all have lived long enough to actually be able to enjoy. You can see where Texas is on this particular graphic. So we'd probably be up in here somewhere. Is that right?